Hi, my name's Imogen and I'm the founder of iMoves.
And my name's Gay and I'm lead workshop presenter and also co-writer on the iMoves Library of Resources.
So here at iMoves, we are super passionate about supporting teachers who want to get their children much more active throughout the school day, whether that be behind their tables and chairs in their classrooms or just want to feel a bit more confident teaching PE subjects like dance or gymnastics. But today we're focusing on active schools and an active learning environment.
So, how do you feel about teaching physically active lessons to children? Have a look at this slide and this sliding scale. Are you a number one that you don't feel very confident at all and that you'd really like some help? Are you in the middle, happy to have a go with a little bit more training and a few more ideas and a bit more support? Or are you at the top level 5 where you're thinking you're doing this already but you'd just like to get some more ideas and a little bit more input so that you can really mix up those lessons a little bit? Wherever you are on that scale, this session will help you to get started without any fuss, without any prep, and add to your existing toolkit of resources that you're currently using.
So here's a question for you. How does a healthy, active lifestyle positively affect a child's whole life? Quickly note down the benefits of being active and healthier, and just do that for 30 seconds or so, and then we'll have a little chat about it. Hopefully, these are some of the benefits you were thinking of. I've grouped them into 5 areas. First one is memory and focus. The children will actually get a bigger brain capacity through more activity, and they'll also be able to concentrate for longer. Mood management, it'll help to reduce anxiety and depression and improve behaviour and focus too. Fitter and stronger, so they may develop better sleep patterns and just feel fitter and stronger and healthier through being more active. Having a positive mindset towards activity and life in general, feeling happier, more motivated and having better relationships too. Mental toughness, building resilience and confidence too. An active child is much more likely to achieve total wellness. This may seem impossible for every child to achieve. However, regular activity can boost their development in all areas of the curriculum in a big way. This means that they may be academically stimulated, motivated to learn, fit and healthier, functionally strong, achieving their potential, feeling socially and emotionally well. And this is what we call total wellness. When we exercise, in the short term, we release happy hormones into the brain. That's serotonin, noradrenaline and dopamine. This improves attention and focus, perception and learning, and motivation and mood. Blood flow also increases to the brain. Oxygen and nutrients flood in, toxins flush out, and brain fog is reduced.
In the long term, a protein called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, actually creates more structural branches within the brain cell to connect to others, improving pathways. This improves mood and mental clarity and the ability to remember, focus and retain information. Also, the hippocampus, which is like the brain's hard drive, actually grows with regular exercise, so improves the capacity for memory and learning. If you're interested in finding out more about exercise and the brain, there's a great book written by a Harvard professor called Dr. John Ratey. His book is called Spark, and it is all about this subject about how exercise affects the brain, the memory, and everything to do with exercise and cognitive function. So if you're interested, go ahead and grab it.
So let's talk about what's actually being asked of you when we talk about getting the kids active. And we've got a scale here. You might have seen this scale, but it's understanding what light, moderate and vigorous activity looks like. So if we say a scale of 1 to 10, 1 to 4-ish is light activity, and that might be standing up, sitting down, walking around the room, doing a bit of a data collection, maybe a bit of yoga behind their tables and chairs, something like that.
Or something seated in their chair where they're doing arm or leg movements in their chair.
Or just stretches, something like that. So your moderate activities where your heart rate is getting up a little bit, you're still able to speak, but you've got, you're kind of a little bit breathier, I suppose, and your heartbeat's going, you might be getting a little bit sweatier, and that's fine, it's completely natural. And then you've got obviously your more vigorous activity, which is maybe running on the spot, or it might be jumping jacks or something like that. It's something that gets the heart rate up really, really quickly. So that's an understanding of your light, moderate and vigorous. And the reason we want to talk to you about this today is because you can see, even if you're just doing light activity, then you can start to improve their focus really, really quickly, their attention, their mood, because blood flow is pushing through to the brain and it's flushing out all those horrible brain fog toxins that kind of sit in the brain when you sit for too long. So that might be just getting them walking around, doing a bit of stretching, bending and stretching, maybe something behind their tables and chairs, like an active blast, a really quick active blast for 2 minutes. That's all it needs. To more moderate to vigorous activity as you get more confident. And of course, as you get further up the scale, you have more benefits. So the more benefits you get, obviously the bigger thumbs up they are. So not only will you be having better focus, attention, mood and all of that kind of thing, but you'll also stimulate the BDNF that we talked about. You'll burn more calories, so you're feeling fitter, healthier. You'll have better cardio fitness, and you'll have stronger, fitter kids. So they're able to sit up for longer and stand up for longer and do sports better and just feel more confident about doing everyday tasks much more effectively. So there's so much that you can do, even just behind the tables and chairs. And again, we're going to show you how to do that really, really simply without any fuss.
But every kind of activity within the scope of light, moderate and vigorous activity has a purpose and a place, and it has a benefit. So don't think, oh, well, we've only done something really small and light, so it doesn't have any effect. It really does, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just doing a little bit of something. So if we were just to stand up and sit down for a few times now, already you'd feel more alert because your blood is having to pump around your body. So you just think, oh, it's almost like pressing your refresh button on your laptop. You just go, oh, okay, I'm back in the room again. Let's go. Understanding what's being asked of you and then being able to choose the best way forward with the children and where they're at the moment, that moment in time, is just really nice to have in your head. So yeah, that's a really nice scale to talk to you about today.
So just to recap, light movement is just slow moving around the room, maybe walking around, like Imogen said, data collection, copying things down off the walls, collecting information, things like that. Standing up, stretching, doing some really light activity. Moderate activity is more brisk movement, getting that heart rate up a little bit higher, repeated bending and stretching, using those large muscle groups to get the blood flowing around the body. It could be even some classroom dance activities where the children are doing just a couple of minutes of a little bit more vigorous, moderate activity. Moving on to vigorous activity, we're thinking about running, we're thinking about games, jumping, skipping, circuits, things where there really are getting that heart rate up, they're getting hot, they're getting sweaty, they're getting out of breath, and that's your vigorous activity types. So everything in that scale has a benefit.
Absolutely, and you don't have to be doing a lot of it. No. It can be just little bursts of maybe 30 seconds of vigorous activity can have so much benefit.
Yeah.
You don't have to do a lot of it at all. And even if you just managed 10 or 15 minutes a day with them in short blocks, doing a little bit of something, it's so beneficial, isn't it?
So powerful.
Yeah. You don't have to be a fitness expert to do it. All you need to know is understand this scale, and away you go. So another pain point that I hear a lot is I haven't got a space in my classroom to be more active. Well, here's what we can do for space. So first of all, we can think about the clutter that goes on in a classroom. So declutter, get rid of what you don't need or box it up out of the way. And think about the layout of the tables and chairs and how you can start to produce more space around the tables and chairs. You might have standing desks or standing areas or a little workout area, and we'll show you some layouts in a minute that we've seen that have worked successfully in other schools. And then you can start to think about, well, actually, we can have themed days. And do you want to talk about the No Chairs Tuesday? Because it was one of your teachers.
Yes, it was. We went into a school and they had an initiative which was working really well. And they called it No Chairs Tuesday. And by the time we got in there, they had it running really successfully. But the way they started it was just for 1 hour on a Tuesday morning, when the children went in, there were no chairs in school. They were all piled up outside in the corridor or in the hall, and the children came in, and everything they did up until break time, they did standing in the classroom, moving around the classroom, and bit by bit, they extended that until it became the whole day. And teachers I've spoken to after this said, oh my goodness, there's no way I could do that because I want my children to be able to sit and focus and concentrate, which is a very sort of backwards way of thinking because it's stopping the children from being active, where we know that the activity is going to help them to focus and concentrate. So do it in baby steps. Do it an hour at a time. Do it at the beginning of the day and maybe again at the end of the day if you feel like you need to introduce it slowly. But by the end of a few weeks, every Tuesday, no chairs. And the children at first will be a little bit like,
oh my goodness,
where's my chair? And then after that, it's just like, that's what we do on a Tuesday. We don't have a chair because children will adapt. That's what they do. And it makes the children really get on with their work because they know they're not going to have a seat at the end of it. They know that they're up all day, but it also really makes the teacher think on their feet as well and think, you know what, I've got this to do. I might as well just get on with it. And it works.
And you plan for it accordingly.
Absolutely.
I mean, if that's not the kind of thing that you think will go down well in your school, I mean, No Chairs Tuesday is just an initiative, isn't it? We wanted to talk about it today, almost to just kind of spark ideas of what's going on in the UK and around in other schools, and just to see what they're doing and what's working well, because. This is a great platform for us to share things like this. So if No Chairs Tuesday is not for you, then start to think about, well, what could we do? What could we start our Active Schools campaign doing? And that might be something outside. It might just be doing the mile a day around your playground or something. So it
can be anything.
It can be anything. But we any initiative like that's just a bit shocking sometimes is the way forward. So here's a few successful layouts that we've seen working really well in some schools. So the typical kind of horseshoe shape with all the tables and chairs around the edges and some kind of activity space in the middle, that works nicely, especially if you've got quite a large classroom. If you've not got too much space, then having a block of tables and chairs, maybe towards the front or the back, having some standing desks and a small area of activity space or sitting space, if you like, it was worked really well. So they're almost zones. They've created zones within their classroom. But it's really down to you as a teacher. You'll be able to see the space that you've got. Like I say, declutter, get rid of what you don't need and what you don't use very much. And just doing this, I think, really makes a statement as well to your kids, doesn't it? It's kind of, oh my goodness me, this is happening.
Yeah.
We are going to be more active because you've changed the furniture.
Yes.
You know when you kind of walk into something is going on here.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing because it's like a positive thing. We are going to do this. We've changed the tables and chairs to accommodate this. Right, let's crack on.
And with the standing desks as well, some teachers are saying, well, that's an expense that we can't afford. A standing desk can be a clipboard with paper on and a pen.
Yeah.
Children standing up. It doesn't mean that you have to buy
standing desks,
crazy equipment. It is literally, let's just get standing up away from the desk, with our own clipboard, and we can use that for our writing.
And what we found is when we talk to teachers about their layouts is that if you give children the opportunity to sit or stand, some of them will just automatically want to stand up, and it's not a chore for them at all. It's like I prefer to do this standing up or resting on something while I'm stood up. And that's fine. It's just giving them the choice, isn't it?
I think the other thing as well I hear from teachers a lot is that handwriting will suffer because they're not sitting at a table and not resting on a table. And in fact, the opposite is true, because when children are seated, their core switches off and their motor skills become less they become weaker because they are not actually supporting themselves. Whereas when they're standing, they could be writing, drawing on a wall or on a clipboard, as we've suggested. Their core is switched on to support them, so therefore their motor skills improve. So it's something to watch out for, and not something to sort of use as a barrier about
Shy
handwriting.
away from.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So when we're trying anything new, when we're delivering anything new in the classroom, there is a possibility that they might get a little hyperactive and a bit out of hand. But don't worry, because this is absolutely normal, and we call this the bad behaviour hump, which we're going to talk about later. But you can power through, and it doesn't last for very long, and it just becomes the norm then, doesn't it? So when introducing anything new, just think about kind of setting their expectations about how they'll feel when they'll do their activity. So the first of all is, we are going to be active in the mornings when we come in. We're going to do an active blast. We then might do something active during the lesson in the afternoon, and we might do an active blast just before we leave to go home. That might be what the day set up then. So they understand when it's happening and when, and so there's no surprises.
I know a school we work with very closely have a visual timetable on their wall with clearly demarcated areas for this is when we are going to be active, get ready. And the children know it's coming because, straight after lunch we're going to do whatever it is, and they know. So, and they actually really look forward to it, don't they?
Absolutely. If they don't do it, they'll be, why aren't we doing our moves? why aren't we doing our active blast?
Yeah.
Which is really sweet. Also explain how they will feel during the activity and after the activity. So if kids aren't used to it, and then suddenly they start to get really hot and out of breath, they could panic. So explain, absolutely, you will get hot, you will get sweaty sometimes, and that's absolutely normal. And just go with it. And it's the more we are active, the more we get hotter and sweatier, the more your body will get used to it, and it'll just feel completely normal.
And it's so good for you as well. It's really good for them. It's not a bad thing, it's a really good thing. So it's really important for them to know that.
And then the last thing is setting expectations about what they will do after the activity is finished. So we're not going to continue to be crazy after the activity. We're going to have a drink of water, we're going to sit straight back down, and we're going to get ready to learn. And if that doesn't happen, you can just reiterate, you know what, if we can't do that, then we can't be active during the lesson, and we can't have loads of fun, and we can't do all of this wonderful stuff. So this is how it's going to work, this is when we're going to do it, this is how you're going to feel, and afterwards, this is how you're going to behave. And setting those expectations just stops, or we can avoid a lot of the bad behaviour that may come with a chaotic class, if you like. So now we're going to have a little chat about chaotic behaviour and poorly behaved children who think this is my green light to go crazy and disrupt everything for ages, and it doesn't have to be like that. So another pain point that we hear a lot of is, what if my class get too crazy, too chaotic, they're too rowdy, poorly behaved? And some children might think this is a green light to go crazy and disrupt everything for ages, and it doesn't have to be like that. So this is what we can do.
So step one is just build it slowly. Like we talked about the No Chairs Tuesday, just starting with maybe an hour in the morning and then carrying on the rest of the day as normal. So building it slowly, letting the children get used to these ideas bit by bit in baby steps. And try and normalise activity in the classroom setting. So this is just what we're doing now, guys. This is how it's going to be. Not that it's a one-off thing or
it's faddy.
Yeah, we only might do it for a week and then we're forgetting about it. This is what's going to happen now, from now on and forevermore. So make it the normal, make it that it's just what we do.
So our advice would be, if you do experience a little bit of a behaviour hump, a bad behaviour hump, then just power through, and within 2 or 3 days you'll find that it'll just flatten out, it'll become the norm, and you won't be experiencing that much at all. And that's the feedback that we've had, isn't it? That you've just got to keep going with it, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we are doing this. The chairs and tables have been moved. She means business or he means business. We are having to do this, and actually it's really, really good fun. And then they start to look forward to it, which is great, isn't it? It's a great feeling. So my last pain point is all about having time to prepare active resources and active classroom resources. Now, we've given you loads of ideas today, and hopefully you'll be able to go away and think, yeah, you know what, I can do this. I've been inspired, and I can take away lots and lots. However, if you want more of all this wonderful stuff, you can have a look at iMoves. Did you know that a child can achieve a whole extra year of learning gains during their time at primary school if they are regularly active during the day? All it takes is 2 to 3 minutes of moderate activity every 1 to 2 hours.
That may sound difficult, but with our Active Blasts, which are 5 to 10 minute videos that require no preparation and can be used in the classroom with children still at their desks, it's easy.
Teachers using our active learning resources in maths, literacy, science and humanities alongside our active blasts have said that children not only felt better, they were also more alert, better behaved, and their ability to learn had improved. The science behind this is that when oxygen is pumped more vigorously around the body to the brain due to exercise, it flushes out toxins that build up and cause the dreaded brain fog. This exercise also creates happy hormones, lifting children's mood, leaving you with a group of happier, more focused children ready to learn. And at a time when teachers are pressured to make up lost time, this is a perfect resource to get back on track.
There's over 1,000 active learning resources in maths, phonics, literacy, science, and even geography and history. All easily accessible online, anytime, anywhere. There's CPD sessions, lesson plans, step-by-step guides, videos, music, presentations, and even flashcards, all age appropriate.
Our Free for Life account gives you access to a core selection of our resources.
You don't need a credit card, and there is absolutely no commitment.
And as a special welcome bonus, you'll also get 14 days complimentary access to our premium resources.
That way, you can decide if one of our great value premium membership plans is the right choice for you or your school.
So why not join us now and give us a go? Just enter your details here and let's get active every day. So during this workshop, we've been through some lovely ideas to get your children much more active, whether it be in the classroom behind their tables and chairs, or in the playground with their structured play zones, or just in lines. So we've hopefully inspired you to go out there and get your children moving much more throughout the school day. So I think it's time for us to sign off. So thank you ever so much for sitting with us and taking in all our information and ideas.
Take care now.
Take care. Happy teaching.
Bye.
Bye.